And now, WBW Theater. Welcome to WBW Theater. Listen to a series of radio dramas, comedies, mysteries, thrillers, westerns, all dedicated to preserving the golden age of radio. Those thrilling days of yesteryear, way back when families gathered together around the living room radio to join the theater of the mind. Listen now as we take you way back when imagination ruled and creativity had no limits. Listen now to WBW Theater.
Drink the rest of your orange juice, Ellery.
But, Nikki, I don't want orange juice. I want to get out of bed.
With that cough, drink it.
Nikki, it's just a cold. We've got a lot of work to do on my novel.
You're staying in bed, Mr. Queen, until you stop coughing. You can dictate from bed.
All right. Get your notebook.
Never knew a man yet who didn't act like a puppy with a sore nose when he was sick. Inspector?
Yes, Nicky? How's the sick man? Say, that's a bad cough, son.
And he wants to get out of bed, Inspector.
Oh, he does he? Well, he's not going to. It's a shame, too.
What's a shame? What are you looking so gay about, Dad?
It's a great day, son. Yes, sir. I've got a rendezvous with Velly to close the book on the career of a bird who just should have been in jail years ago.
Who's that, Dad?
Little Jim.
Oh, little Jim.
Who is Little Jim, Inspector?
James Fillmore, Nicky. The 20% king.
And I have to be laid up. I'm getting out of here.
You're staying right where you are. We're tipped off that little Jim made a reservation on this morning's plane to South America. So I threw a squad around his house last night, and we'll grab Mr. Fillmore when he leaves with that satchel full of John Q. Public's dough.
What's his racket, Inspector?
He invests your money for your guaranteed 20% interest.
But how can he keep paying 20%?
It's very simple, Nikki. Little Jim takes your 100, pays out 20. That leaves him 80.
But Ellery, he can't do that indefinitely.
There's always a fresh crop of suckers, Nicky. The new money keeps paying off the old interest.
But eventually a lot of people must want all their money back.
When that unhappy moment comes, Nikki, little Jim packs up the remaining assets and departs hastily for cooler climes. Same old story, Dad. Remember William F. Miller and his Franklin Syndicate in 1899?
Yep. Well, this time little Jim waited too long. So we're going to recover the sucker money and wrap Mr. James Fillmore up for immediate delivery to the DA, Nicky. Take care of Ellery.
I will, Inspector.
Blast it. Dad, let me know how you make out.
Hey, Inspector.
Morning, Velly. How goes it?
Well, smooth as a baby's neck, Inspector. Not a soul's left in the house since we checked little Jim in last night. I've been watching from the front gate here. Here comes little Jim now.
Marching out his front door with his black bag, cocky as an Irish cop. Down, Velly. Let him walk right into the arms of the law.
What a runt.
5'1" of pure cussedness. Wait a minute. Why's he stopped? What's he looking up at the sky for?
Says to himself, looks like rain, so I'll turn back and go into the house for an umbrella. And there he goes, Inspector.
Where, Velly? I've lost him under that portico in the front of the door. Let's get closer. I want to make sure he doesn't pull a sneak.
The little twerp is liable to pull anything. There he is, Inspector. See him now?
Yeah, back into the house. We'll wait right here, Velly, till he comes out again. Gotta nab him with that bag on him.
Inspector, Little Jim gets out of this house with us, so the boys spotted him. He ain't a fraud artist. He's a magician.
Well, Velly, what do the men say?
Well, they say nobody's left in the house, Inspector. So little Jim's still inside.
15 minutes to get an umbrella? Use your head, Velly. Fillmore spotted us. He's up to something. I'm not waiting any longer. Ring that bell, Velly.
I tell you, Inspector, it's okay. Who's this beanpole?
Yes, sir.
Where's little Jim?
Beg pardon, sir.
James Fillmore. Where is he?
Oh, Mr. Fillmore is not here, sir.
Now listen, Daddy Longlegs. Little Jim came out of here 15 minutes ago, ducked right back in, and he ain't been out since.
I'm Inspector Queen of Police Headquarters. Quit stalling. Where's Fillmore?
But you must be mistaken, sir. Mr. Fillmore did leave 15 minutes ago, but I didn't see him return.
Well, he did. Velly, search the house. I'll wait here in the foyer with this man.
Fillmore's last stand, huh? Playing hard to get.
So, you're covering up for him. Who are you?
Mr. Fillmore's man, sir. Jonathan Biggs, sir.
Quite a team, aren't you? Fillmore's a 5-footer and you're 6'4", Mr. Biggs, if you're an inch.
Yes, sir. Mr. Fillmore wouldn't engage anyone but a very tall person. He's so sensitive about his height, sir.
Yeah, these little guys cause all the trouble.
I wouldn't know about that, sir. But Mr. Fillmore gets furious if you refer to him as a little. And that's why he wears a beard, sir. I believe it makes him feel bigger and more masterful.
Well, he can get a quick trim and sing-sing. Velly, what's taking so long?
I guess Jimmy Boy wants to play peekaboo, Inspector.
I'll peekaboo him. Biggs, why is it so cold in this house? Run out of oil ration coupons?
Oh, no, sir. We burn coal.
Then why don't you burn some? The temperature here would discourage an Eskimo.
I was about to go down to the cellar, sir, when you arrived. We're expecting a coal delivery this morning. I was going to put the last few shovelfuls in the furnace when you arrived.
Don't let me keep you, but come right back. Velly, how long does it take to find one man in one house?
You tell me, Inspector. I'm still looking.
What's the matter, Velly? Where's little Jim?
Inspector, I'm baffled.
I told you, sir. Mr. Fillmore isn't here.
Then you didn't cover everything, Velly.
Is that so? I looked my eyes out, every room.
Velly, I'm in no mood for gags.
Who's gagging? I'm not gagging, Inspector. He ain't here.
Did you look in the basement, the attic, all the closets?
I tell you, I looked every place, Inspector.
But, Velly, you stay here in the house. I'll send a few of the boys in to help you make another search. Meanwhile, you, Biggs, don't leave this house. Is that clear?
Perfectly, sir.
Velly, keep your eyes on this long drink of water. He's too smooth to suit me. Another thing, I'm giving strict orders to the men on duty outside that no one leaves this house except you and me, Velly, unless he's got one of my cards as a pass, and signed by me to boot.
But, Inspector, I tell you, little Jim ain't here.
He must be here. Biggs, get out of my way. I'm going home and talk to Ellery.
You've got it all down, Nikki?
Yes, Ellery. Full description of Mr. Fillmore's house and all the rooms.
Now, Dad, you and Velly saw James Fillmore come out through the front door. You saw him pause, look at the sky, and you unquestionably saw him go back inside?
How many times do I have to tell you? He went back in.
Then that's a fact. After little Jim went back into the house, no one left it, you say?
My men had every possible exit covered, son.
Obviously, then little Jim is still in there.
But Ellery, Sergeant Velly, and the other detectives searched every nook and cranny.
That's what makes this such an interesting problem, Nikki. Dad, let's start at the bottom of the house and work up. How about the cellar?
Solid concrete. Floor, ceiling, walls, all tapped.
Any packing cases in the cellar? Old trunks?
No, all we found down there were 2 coal bins. One empty, the other with a couple shovels full of coal in it. The basement's out, Ellery.
The ground floor, then.
3 rooms, living room, study, kitchen.
Living room first. Dad, how about the fireplace?
Thoroughly investigated. Also, all the walls, floor, ceiling. Not only in that room, but in every room in the house, Ellery.
Does the living room have a grand piano?
By Jove, yes. I wonder if Velly looked in there.
Note, Nicky. Search interior of piano. Now, the kitchen. Closets, pantry,
All covered.
refrigerator. Remember, Philomore's only 5'1" and skinny as a spindle.
I better check with Velly on that, son.
Check refrigerator.
The study. Is there a safe?
Yes, Philomore's man Biggs opened it for us. Nothing in the safe but unimportant papers.
What about the foyer, Dad?
Suit of armor.
I'll bet that's it.
You'd lose, Nicky. We looked inside.
I suppose all the closets were searched too?
Everyone in the house, upstairs and down, in the bathrooms, in the attic, and the roof.
That's the whole house, then. No! The garage.
We went through it.
Did you search the car?
I left that to Velly. However, I'd better check it personally. Note car trunk compartment, Nicky.
Nicky, go back to Philomore's house with Dad. When Dad's checked the piano, refrigerator, and car, phone me the results.
I can see it coming, though. Mr. James Phillimore isn't hiding in any of those places, Ellery.
I'm inclined to agree, Nicky. Toughest case all winter, and I have to investigate it on my back.
Biggs, what's that bell?
The rear door, Inspector.
Velly, unlock it and slide the bolt.
Uh-huh. Yeah?
Coal company. Got 2 tons to deliver.
It's about time. It was warm here for a while, but now it's getting cold again.
Well, if it's okay.
No, don't step inside, fella.
Velly, go outside with this man. Let him run his coal chute into the cellar window to the bin, but he's not to set foot in any part of the house.
Yes, anybody with you, my anthracite friend?
I got a helper.
Stick with both of them every second, Velly. Now, Nicky, let you and I search those places Ellery mentioned. Oh, Velly, what about the coal?
What's in, Inspector?
Hey, this big guy says I gotta have a pass to let me and my helper out. What goes here, anyway?
Here's your pass. Velly, go out with them and better examine that truck just to make sure. Nicky, where are you?
In the study alcove off the foyer, Inspector.
Whom are you talking to, Nicky?
Ellery on the phone. He's furious.
Nothing on the piano, Nicky.
Only strings and sounding board, Ellery.
Don't be cute. Refrigerator?
Filled with goodies, which reminds me I'm starved.
A man vanishes like the Cheshire cat and she's hungry. What about the car in the garage?
He's not in it, Ellery. Now what shall I tell the inspector to do?
Blessed if I know. Anything new happen?
A coal truck just delivered 2 tons of coal.
What? Let me talk to Dad.
Your celebrated son wishes a word with you, Inspector.
Now, Ellery, keep your shirt on. I kept the 2 coal men from entering the house, and Velly was with them every minute, so little Jim can't have sneaked out through the cellar window.
I realize that, Dad, but don't you realize that he may be playing hide-and-go-seek with you?
Come again?
While you were searching one part of the house, Phillimore may have been hiding in another part. When you came to his part, he slipped off still to another part. How do you know he wasn't in the coal bin when the coal started sliding down the chute? Now, how do you know he isn't buried under the coal at this moment?
I'm ready to believe anything.
You better check, Dad, and call me back.
All right.
What's Ellery say, Inspector?
As soon as Velly gets back into the house, Nicky, we start shoveling coal.
And for goodness sake, Inspector, while you're at it, put some in that furnace.
Well, Velly?
Sergeant, you look like an end-man in a minstrel show.
Shovel coal. Keep the furnace going. What else you gotta do on this job? Look at me. My wife will have a fit.
Never mind your wife. Did you transfer all that coal to the other bin?
Yeah. And guess what we found under that coal, Inspector?
What, Velly?
Coal dust.
Oh, I'll get it. Hello? Just a minute, Ellery. Inspector, it's Ellery and he's all agog.
Hello, son.
Dad, was little Jim under the coal?
He was not. Any more bright ideas, Mr. Queen?
Well, the coal was a long shot, but we had to eliminate it. Dad, I know where James Fillmore is.
Where?
It's the only place left for him to hide.
I'm still listening.
You said Fillmore's study is off the foyer. You listed all the study furniture, but Dad, you left out one thing.
You're lying there in bed, halfway across town, and you're telling me I left out something? What?
A study usually has a desk. You didn't mention one.
I didn't? Well, it's a fact. There's a desk here. By thunder, Ellery, you're right. And it's one of those old-fashioned roll-top desks at that. Hold on, Velly. Ellery solved it.
He has, Inspector?
Where's he say little Jim's hiding?
In the roll-top desk, Velly. Search it.
Say, we did miss that before. Fillmore, come out of there. Huh?
It's empty.
Solved it. Ellery, you were wrong. My son, the desk is empty.
But it can't be.
Hang on a minute, Ellery. Velly, answer the front door.
But I'll answer it, sir.
Biggs, you'll stay where you are. Velly, who is it?
Telegraph boy, Inspector, with a wire for Biggs.
Oh, I'll take that, sir.
You will not. Don't move. Velly, grab that wire.
Dad, who's that wire from?
Wait, this phone has a long cord. I'll take it out into the foyer. Hold on, son. Nicky, take the phone. Velly, give me that wire.
Here you are, Inspector. Biggs, stand still.
But it's my wire, sir.
The inspector's opening the telegram, Ellery.
For pity's sake, what's it say, Nicky?
But it can't be. It's impossible.
Can I please have a pass or something to get out of here? The guy at the gate says I gotta have a pass. I got other telegrams to deliver, you know?
Here, Velly, give him his pass.
Now scram, Squirt. What's the wire say, Inspector?
Nicky, hand me that phone. Ellery, listen to this. I can't believe it.
Can't believe what?
It's from James Fillmore. Yes, it's addressed to this man Biggs, and it says, "Get out of house as planned. Bring clothes and papers to meeting place agreed on. Signed, James Fillmore."
Out of my way!
Velly, grab that man. Don't let Biggs get away.
Oh, no, you don't, flunky.
Sergeant, look out!
Oh, yeah?
Dad, for heaven's sakes, what's going on there?
Biggs tried to beat it. Velly's wrestling with him, trying to get him down on the floor, but he can't. What's the matter, Velly? Didn't you have your vitamins today?
I can't get this guy off his feet. Okay, brother, I'll cut you down to size.
What a fall was there, my countrymen.
Velly's got Biggs, son. But how did little Jim get out of the house? I'll swear, nobody left here.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Of course I know where little Jim is.
Is that so? You thought you knew once before, Ellery, and you were wrong.
Dad, this time I'm positive. I've solved the problem of James Fillmore, the man who stepped back into his own house to get his umbrella and was never seen in this world.
You've solved it, son? But what? Where? How?
Never mind now, Dad. Did you ask the telegraph messenger the obvious question?
Did I? What obvious question?
Oh, Lord, Dad. Maybe it's still not too late. Where's the boy now?
He just left. Wait a minute. I still see him through the foyer window. Pigot's examining the pass I just gave him at the front gate.
Good. Hold the boy, Dad, and bring him to me here. I'll ask him that question myself.
Okay, so we've got the messenger boy outside your bedroom, Maestro. Now what?
Fine, Sergeant. Keep the boy there for a moment.
What I want to know, son, is where's James Fillmore?
Yes, Ellery, how did he get out of the house with a dozen detectives watching every possible exit?
Elementary, Nicky. Dad, just answer my questions. Is little Jim in that house now?
No, son. I'll stake my shield on that.
If he isn't in the house, then he must be outside of the house, right?
Naturally.
How many people left the house during the day, Dad? Not including yourselves or the detectives.
I told you a dozen times, Ellery. Nobody left that house.
Oh, but that's not so, Dad. 3 people left it.
3? Inspector, he's delirious.
Come. Didn't the coal man come to the house and then leave it? That makes 2.
But they never stepped into the house, Ellery.
And I was with them every second while they sent the coal down the chute from the outside of the house, Maestro. I even examined the truck before they left.
So little Jim wasn't in the truck, and he wasn't one of the coal men, Ellery.
You're quite right about that. That eliminates 2 of the 3 persons that left the house. Therefore, the 3rd person must be little Jim.
I've got it! Ellery, you're wrong! Little Jim never left the house at all, Inspector.
But Nicky, we searched it from top to bottom. If he was in the house all the time, where was he?
He was in front of your eyes, Inspector. Little Jim was Biggs the servant.
He played 2 parts? Say.
Fillmore's 5'1", Nicky. Biggs is 6'4".
He faked the extra height, Inspector. Used stilts or something.
Stilts? No, Nicky. Velli actually wrestled with Biggs and couldn't even get him off his feet. If Biggs were on stilts, no matter how strong he was, you could have pushed him over, Nicky. No. Call in that telegraph boy, Sergeant, and I'll ask him the obvious question that Dad forgot.
What obvious question, for Pete's sake?
Here's the boy, Maestro.
Well, what do you want, mister?
I want to ask you a question, Sonny. Here it is. You're James Fillmore, aren't you?
He's little Jim, Ellery. This boy?
What makes him a boy, Dad? His small size, his clean-shaven cheeks, his messenger uniform, his high-pitched voice? No, he's not a boy. He's a man. James Fillmore, in fact. He must be. He's the only other person who left the house.
Think you're clever, don't you?
Stand still.
I get it.
But Ellery, how did he leave the house in the first place in order to come back as the messenger?
He didn't leave it at all, Nicky.
Now I see it. He prepared his escape in advance. He had his telegraph messenger's uniform ready and a telegram, which he'd sent to himself some time ago. All he had to do today was change the date and reseal the envelope.
Yes, Dad. And when he spotted you this morning waiting for him outside the house, he quickly went back in, shaved off his beard, put on the uniform, told Biggs to play stupid, and then hid in the only place you did not search.
The roll-top desk.
Precisely. Just before I phoned about the desk, he saw that the coast was clear. Nobody was in the study or foyer, so he jumped out of the desk, ran to the front door, opened it, went out and stood in the portico.
Then why didn't Piggott at the front gate see him, Ellery?
He couldn't, Sergeant. Remember when you and Dad first saw little Jim re-enter the house this morning? Dad said you'd lost him. couldn't see him in the portico until you got closer to the front door. So then Fillmore rang the bell, delivered his telegram, and calmly asked for a pass to get off the premises.
Making this little devil sneakier than the Jap. Come along quietly, Fillmore, or I'll break you into little pieces.
That was a mighty clever plot, Ellery.
Wasn't it? I especially call to your attention, my dear Nicky, the brilliant wording of Little Jim's spurious telegram. It convinced Inspector Queen that this daring criminal had escaped, when all the time he was in the house waiting for a pass from the inspector himself to get him out.
Join us again as we bring you exciting thrills and adventure, rip-roaring comedy, and shoot-'em-up westerns and gangbusters. Next time, when your imaginations will be invited into the theater of the mind that is WBW Theater.